Tere päevast! Mina olen Eve Kislov ja ma usun, et te kuulete mind hästi. Jah, keegi vastab. Ei. Kas ma olen kuuldel?
At least I can hear you well.
Okei, thank you.
Nii.
Jaa. Et mina olen Eve Kislov ja täna ma olen siis Tiiu Tommula palvel siin seda tänast üritust sisse juhatamas. Miia Bergius on juba meil kohal ja räägib meile täna Googlist ja digilõuna võib siis sellega alata. Nii et floor is your, Miia, please.
Thank you. I will turn my screen sharing on. Just a second. Okay. So, yeah, as said, my name is Miia Bergius. I work in the Google for Education team as a country lead for Finland and the Baltics. So basically only focusing for the educational tools that we have at Google. I will be doing a short presentation about how we approach to education, what kind of tools we have for the education. And please feel free to, if you have any questions for me, you can always just interrupt me and open your mic, or you can use the chat feature in Teams. And after the presentation, I will answer to the questions. And after my part, there will be Daniil continuing from Atsia, Estonia. So I will hand over to Daniil after a while. At Google, how we see the education tools that we develop and offer to the schools globally all around the world. We truly believe that everyone, all students, teachers, whatever staff there is working at schools deserve to have access to great learning experience. And my personal opinion is that at school during the lessons, there's millions of different things that teachers teach to students and things that students need to learn. So, and not all is about IT. So quite often the students are learning to maybe calculate, maybe read, maybe something about the history. And it's not about the computers or the tools. They are just equipments that are used to learn something, whatever the topic of the lesson might be. And in that perspective, I think the good IT in classroom is something that doesn't distract from the actual topic that is being learned during the lesson. So if it's only a lesson, for example, about math, the tools might be used for the practicing or studying, and they should just simply work so they don't distract from the actual topic. Quite often I get asked, why should someone choose Google for education tools? Well, I think we've been around for over 10 years now globally. It all started from US, but I think it was like 11 years ago when Google for Education tools landed to Europe. And at that time, for example, I was working with a lot of Finnish customers and saw them starting to do like the small pilots here and there to start testing. There was a lot of questions. Of course, the tools were very different at that time as well. They've been developing over the years. And at the moment, we globally have over 170 million users. Over 150 million of them are using Google Classroom, which I think from the whole toolkit that we have, Google Classroom is probably the most loved by schools and most used one as well. And then we, of course, have Chromebooks, which are the #1 device globally at the moment, have been already since 2021 when looking at the basic education. So basically, we call it K-12 students. So there's a lot of users all around the world in different kinds of schools using Google's tools, and that's one of the reasons why we keep developing them all the time. And when we develop new features, there's a couple of very brand new things that I will talk a bit more in a minute. There's three basically focus areas that we want to bring into the tools that we developed and the features. We want to support more personal learning, a lot of different kinds of features, tools itself that can provide that kind of personal learning feeling for the students, but also for the teachers. The second one is the collaboration features. And I think this is something that in the beginning, when the Google for Education tools started to land in Europe and in the Nordics, the collaboration was the key feature at that time because it was brand new. It was something that basically other tools didn't really have. And I think still it's one of the most loved features of our tools because it simply brings students together. They can work in smaller groups, create material together. And I always think of those times when there was a group assignment during a classroom and there was always the one person who did the writing and then there was the rest who were doing something else. So with the collaboration features, it can really be something that all the members of the group can participate instead of just one person writing and the other ones doing something else. The third very important focus area is the safety and security. I think at the moment there's two main topics around any conversation around IT in education or IT in general, and security and AI are probably those two. And because we are talking about small children in education quite often, the safety is definitely the number one concern that we keep in mind. So jumping into the products a bit, first starting from the device side. So we have the operating system, Chrome OS, which probably many of you might know. Usually people talk about Chromebooks in school environments, which is the laptop model of Chrome OS devices. And the combination basically always is that there is a device and then there is the management license to make sure that there will be all the additional features in use that you can get with the management license. I think one of the main use cases for Chromebooks in schools is the shared device use case, because not always, actually, it's quite rare that there's possibilities to have one-to-one devices for all students. So I think in practice, it's very normal that the students are sharing the devices during the school day, doing many different things with the device, and Chromebook is very suitable for that use case, and that's one of the reasons why it is so popular all around the world. Of course, together with the affordable price and the good features, but also supporting the security features. And actually, a nice to know thing about Chrome OS is that it is the only operating system that has never been anyway hacked or broken by any user. So that says a lot about the security and the level of it. Then we have the Google Workspace for Education. So basically the toolkit, including, for example, Google Classroom, which is the most loved tool by schools. And there's a lot of different tools inside Google Workspace for Education. And we at the moment have 4 different versions of Google Workspace for Education. There is the fundamentals, which is the basic version. Then there is standard, which basically gives additional features on the admin side. Then there's teaching and learning upgrade, which gives more features on the teacher side. And then there is the Education Plus, which basically combines all 3 features. So there's everything inside the Plus features. And at the moment when we develop new features, you might see some kind of like ads or announcements about this kind of new tool for Google or this kind of new feature from Google. And then you might be looking at your own account and be like, well, hey, I don't have it. Where is it? Or it looks a bit different than it was said in the support article. So always reflect on what version are you using, because not all features will be released to all users. So some of the updates that we are now bringing to the Workspace toolkits are based on the license model. So something comes from the fundamentals, some new features might be related to all of these, and some of them might only come, for example, to the plus features. So always maybe reflect a bit on what type of version are you using, and if you see a good new feature, is that available to you based on the license that you have. Something that I also want to highlight to you are the supply resources, tools, and all the other stuff, especially Google for Education Teacher Center. If you just write down in the Google search, Google Teacher Center, it will take you to a web page with a lot of free educational material meant for teachers. So there you can find this kind of like self-study materials, you can do courses, and there's also information about our teacher certifications. So we have this kind of educator level 1 and educator level 2 certifications for teachers. So if you are interested and want to learn or get some new ideas, the Teacher Center especially is a great place for that one. So I highly recommend looking a bit more about that webpage and using the materials which you can find from there. Then a few words about AI. I'm sure that there is not a single IT related presentation at the moment without mentioning AI. And our AI product is called Gemini. You might have heard about it. So basically Gemini, Google Gemini is our AI powered assistant for education. And it was last spring that we actually launched the new education tools specifically. Of course, the Gemini was already existing before that one, but the education versions were a new thing last spring. And at the moment, what I see many customers, schools, teachers doing is to testing. What can you do with Gemini? How can you actually find good use cases from the everyday lives at schools to use AI to support the work that you do? And something that I hear raising all the time is the time saving. I hear that teachers are super busy. There's never enough time during the day to do absolutely everything that you're supposed to do. And again, the work that you do with the students is obviously the most important thing for the day. So whatever would make you save a bit time here and there to actually focus for the lessons. And I guess it's always about the preparing work. That's the stuff that everyone needs to do. It takes time, obviously, and it's something that you sort of have to do to be able to spend the lessons with the students and the kids. And that's something that AI can help you with, definitely. For example, I use it a lot during every single day when I need to create materials. It's sort of like I ask Gemini that, hey, can you create me a template about project planning or something like that? And it will give me a good basic structure. And after that one, I can start editing. But it already saved me like 5-10 minutes here, maybe 30 minutes there, just so I don't have to do like the basic structure work, which can be done automatically. And then I can add the actual input to the material by myself. But it saves time, bits and pieces here and there. But actually, if you use it regularly, it will be a large amount of time saved eventually. Of course, there's always the personal learning aspect that I mentioned previously already, and definitely creativity. At the moment, you can generate images, videos, even sound with Gemini. And I guess there's always a discussion around which pictures you can use in materials, what are the rights, and so on. So with Gemini, basically, you can generate material that you can safely use because it doesn't provide you the kind of pictures or videos or sound that would not be allowed to be used. And of course, never forgetting the data privacy and security, because that's always the most important thing when talking about educational products. And something that has been a very hot topic around Gemini and Google Workspace and the new features during this fall. And I guess, like I've been saying to many customers, that the one wish that I've been hearing the most over the years from customers has been that why Google doesn't have a video editing tool of their own, especially something that would work with Chromebooks. And we even actually had a lot of discussion around this one with Finnish customers and our product team in BET last year. And this was something that they really took with them. And after a lot of thought, a lot of development work, we will be launching a new tool still during this year. It's called Google Bits. It will be added inside Google Drive. So if you have been using Google Drive, you know that there is the button Create New. You can create Google Docs, Sheets, Slide from that one, and there will be Google Bits visible under that button when the new features are launched. Sorry. So basically, you can very easily create new videos or video recorded presentations with Google Bits. Just a minute. Sorry about that one. And next, I will show you a video, what you can do with Google Bits. Let's hope that you can also hear the sound.
All right, sales team, we're excited to share the details of the launch of our new product.
Okay, let's not start again. So that was a quick presentation from my part. If you have any questions for me, please feel free to ask, or let's see if we have anything here in the chat site. There's a question about are there age age restrictions for students in Gemini? And yes, that is a very good question. At the moment, the actual Gemini product is K18. So basically it is a tool for the teachers, grown-ups. But we will be launching an update very soon and opening Gemini for the teen students. And the teen students will mean that it will be available for students over 13. So that's an update that it's not yet fully visible to all customers, but it will be published in the near future. So check for the announcements. It will be there. If there isn't any other questions, I will hand it over to you, Daniel. And thank you from my part.
Ja, tere kõigile. Ma loodan, et te kuulate mind ja võib-olla isegi hetke pärast äkki näete. Ja kui see juhtub, palun andke mulle märku. Et loodetavasti on midagi nähtav. Et kui näete, saate võib-olla mingi emotsioon panna, thumbs up või midagi sellest. Kas mind on kuulda ka?
On kuulda.
On kuulda.
Suurepärane. Siis me võime alustada. Et ühel poolt ma lihtsalt ütlen, et ma jagan ühel poolt ekraani, te saate see PowerPoint vaadata sealt. Aga miks ma olen siin, kes ma olen? Ma olen Daniil Raljov. Ma tegelen Googli tootega selles ettevõttes nagu vaataja. Ma vaatasin, et tegelikult mõned nimed on mulle väga tuttavad, et selles mõttes, et tore, et me saame uuesti kõik võib-olla asjad läbi käia. Ja millest ma alustan? Ma alustangi sellest, et nende klootsidest, nii nagu Google näeb seda olukorda, et tegelikult siin on väga erinevad tööriistad, mis on kindlasti teie puhul, ma olen kindel, et seal on inimesed, kes kasutavad seda kas igapäevati. Kui ei kasuta, siis võib olla midagi uus siin kindlasti on olemas. Aga mis minu sõnum siin on, et te näete, et need on erinevad klootsid ja see, kuidas te kombineerite neid oma töö jaoks, oma klassi jaoks, oma kooli jaoks, sõltub tõesti teilt, et siin ei ole mingi õige ja vale suund, et meie lihtsalt võib-olla näitame, et mis on mis. Samas ma olen suht kindel, et te olete varem ka neid asjad kasutanud ja kindlasti teate näiteks, et mis on docs või sheets, sest see on arusaadav. Aga võib-olla natukene sellest, et mis see Classroom on, Miia natukene rääkis vahepeal, et mis see tegelikult tähendab. Aga mul on siiamaani küsimus Googli, et kas me saame seda mingi hetk ikkagi tõlgitud, et see oleks eesti keeles. Et vastus oli jah, et tegeletakse ja siis võib-olla tõesti on rohkem infot ja asjad, et äkki keegi oskab öelda, kas keegi juba nägi, proovis Classroom, kas see toimib teie jaoks?
Toimib.
Toimib, okei. Et isegi see, et jah, et see funktsionaalsus oma poolt on tõesti tore. Jällegi kõik on sünkitud, kõik omavahel seotud, et kui teie klass või kool kasutab Drive'i, siis ma ütleks, et see on tõesti lihtne ja mis on võib-olla, see on vaja ilmselt mitte ainult mulle kinnitada, vaid see hindamine, mis saaks Classroomi puhul tegelikult endale sätistada, on tõesti mugav. Mina ise testisin seda ühe mitte, ütleme, et ühes MTÜ-s, kus ma töötasin enne seda, et see isegi nagu mingi koolituste põhine asi toimib väga ilusti. Docs ja Sheets ma ei taha tõesti siin ka väga palju aega raisata, aga üldjuhul, mis ma ütlen teile kohe, et ma jagaksin teile just nagu oma osa, sest mina panin ilusti kõik need lingid, millest Miia rääkis teile, et siis teil on otse linkud olemas, et et ma tahaksin vaadata, et sellest, et mis on Sheets ja Slides, siis ma saan otse lingist mingi tipid ja nõuanded enda jaoks kasutada. Google Meet on täpselt samamoodi kasutusel, sõltub koolist. Ma tean, et näiteks Tallinna koolid, kindlasti seal on palju rohkem Teamsi kasutusel. Põhjus on väga lihtne, see on olemas ja milleks on midagi uuesti välja mõelda, aga jällegi, et siin kõik sõltub õpetajatelt, et kui ma soovin ise eraldi mingi webinari teha, ma ütleks, et Google Meet on üks nendest keskkondadest, kus tegelikult seda saab teha, lihtsalt, et peab jälgima, et see litsents, mis ta kasutab, oleks õige. Ja kindlasti Google Forms ehk siis vormid, et neid ma arvan, et isegi need koolid, kus on väga palju Microsofti kasutusel, isegi siis vormid miskipärast on kasutusel Googli poolt. Ja siis mõned asjad, vabandust. Et millest ma tahtsin natukene rääkida, et ma tean, et aastast 2021 oli suur teema just seotud, kui turvaline Googli Workspace ja Googli lahendused meie turu jaoks ja seal oli pretsedendid ja küsimused, et nüüdseks kõik need, ütleme, just nagu bürokraatia, mis oli vaja selleks, et kinnitada, et tegelikult kõik protsessid vastavad nii NIS2 standardile, nii ka GDPR-ile. Nüüdseks on tehtud lühidalt öeldes, et safe to say, et Google on tegelikult turvaline õppekeskkond. Siin ma räägiks natukene sellest, et miks Google võib-olla sobiks paremini HEV puhul just sellepärast, et kõik seadmed, mis on hallatud Google'iga ehk siis Google adminiga, nende sätistamine ja nende kasutamine on väga paindlik, et sa saad ise välja mõelda need reeglid, mis sa tahad ja soovid siia panna. Ja fantaasia on selles mõttes piiramatu, et neid reeglid seal on päris palju. Ja jätkaks antud teema, mis Miia ka mainis vahepeal ja mis on tõesti meie pool on see keskkonnas sõbralikkus on oluline ja Google on üks nendes ettevõttes, kes tegelikult panustab nii, et aastaks 2030 nad kasutavad ainult roheenergia ja mis see tähendab, me räägime mitte ainult Google for Education, et Google haridustele, vaid terve see konglomeraat, terve see ettevõte, mis tähendab kõik serverid ja kõik siis lahendused, pilvelahendused, mis Google pakub, et selleks ajaks see on kõik siis põhimõtteliselt kasutab ainult taaskasutab energiat. Ja mis ma tahaksin teile rääkida ja mis ma jagan kindlasti teile, on need ressursid ja seletan, miks ma arvan, ma teen lihtsalt mingi PDF-i sellest ja jagan, sest Miia kindlasti mainis neid asju, aga mina tegin teile siuke nagu ongi iga kus ma ütlen, et siin on nii administraatorile eraldi siis siuke nagu guideline kui ka õpetajatele, kui nad soovivad midagi uut enda jaoks üles leida, nii ka peredele, ehk siis need tegelikult koolid, see ei ole ainult õpetajad ja lapsed, see on ka nende lapsevanemad ja teate sellest kindlasti rohkem ja ma lihtsalt arvasin, et neid lingid võib olla tõesti mingi ettevõtja jagada, et mis võib-olla oleks koostöö vanematega teie vahel ja siis lapsega teeks paremaks seda. Et seal on kindlasti on see võimalus olemas. Ja mul on tunne, et sellest oli ka mainitud, et mis on, ütleme, et kuidas saaks seda teha, et haridus on kõigile kättesaadav. Õnneks me oleme Eestis, et siin me võime öelda, et tegelikult meie haridus on kättesaadav kõigile nagunii, et siin on pigem küsimus selles, et mis Google pakub oma poolt selleks, et seda veel paremaks teha ja te näete, et siin on kaks ärisuunda, et üks on Chromebook, et nemad vaatavad just selle riistvara poolt, et kuidas need seadmed toimivad, kas nad on, ma ei tea, kas nendel on vajalikud, mis standardid on olemas, sest tegevus on ikkagi lastega ja siis teine osa ongi see Google Workspace, kuidas me saame teha nii, et kõik lapsed saavad ligipääsu, et see on kättesaadav, et siin on neid vastused ka olemas ja jällegi ma tegin neid lingi eraldi ja ma jagan siis teiega seda pärast. Ja üks suur teema, tegelikult ma ütleks, et need, kes siin on olemas, ma arvan, et nendel on kindlasti mingi teadmised, Googli kohta on juba olemas, aga kas te olete mõelnud võib-olla või olete huvitatud sellest, et tegelikult võib-olla oleks tore uurida rohkem ja siis proovida ennast sertifitseerida. Mis see sertifitseerimine tähendab? See ei ole ainult mingi silt, et ma olen Googli poolt sertifitseeritud, see tegelikult on neid teadmised, mis te saate ja ma panin kokku, kuidas see õpetaja sertifikaadid võivad Googli puhul olla. Et tegelikult see Certified Educator, ehk siis seal on 2 tasemed. Ma jätan samamoodi, siin on lihtsalt kirjutatud, et mis see inimene justkui oskab või teab ja siin on täpselt samamoodi on olemas, et mis need eksamid on, et kinnitada, et need teadmised teil on olemas. Ja siis teine, ütleme, need on juba järgmised sammud ja siin ongi mainitud, et üks osa on see, et arenda neid teadmised, teine ongi see koolitaja osa, et te oskate mitte vende jaoks seda kokku panna, vaid teistele seletada, kuidas see töötab ja mis mina mõtlesin välja ja mis ma tegin, et seda siis paremaks teha. Ja need on siis 3 erinevat astmet, et tegelikult kui teil on huvi või siis ütleme, et sooviksite rohkem sellest teada, võite ühendust nii Miaga kui minuga, et me küll oleme huvitatud, et rohkem oleks need õpetajad, kes saaksid jagada teadmisi. Seda me kindlasti. Veel üks ressurss, mis ma jagan teiega, see on pigem nagu IT-adminiga võib-olla on oluline, aga ikkagi enda jaoks võib-olla ka teada, mis on neid Chromebookid ja Chromebook seadmed on praegu turul olemas. Google'il on eraldi oma link sellest, et kuidas see võiks olla. Seal on põhimõtteliselt küsimustik, millele te vastate ja siis justkui annab teile mõtted, mis on parem seade teie jaoks. Ja ma mainin võib-olla mõned asjad, mis mina arvasin, võib-olla pakuvad teile huvi, ma loodan, aga kui ei ole, siis nii ta on. Lihtsalt, et võib-olla te saate seda enda jaoks ka kasutada, näiteks neid praktikakomplektid, et see kindlasti käib ainult selle Education Plus litsentsiga, Teaching and Learning ka, aga põhimõtteliselt, kuidas see näeb välja, et klassruumis sa saad panna justkui praktikamaterjalide kokku ja siis see näeb välja nagu suurem töö. Ma miskipärast arvan, et seda võib isegi kuidagi rakendada selle loovtööga, et kindlasti seal on neid võimalused ka olemas. Siis midagi, mis on toimiv Chromebookidega, see on Screencast. Ma ütleks, et kindlasti, kui ma jagan neid materjalid, võib-olla vaadake läbi neid one-pagerid või siis video sellest, et mis see on, kuidas see aitab. Tegelikult et isegi see osa, et neid õppetunnid salvestada enda jaoks on juba suur osa ja suur asi. Ja siis on olemas suhksed väiksed äpid, mis on ka justkui Google Educationi osa, samas nad on, minu meelest nad on kättesaadav Play Store'ist ja nad on tasuta, kuna nad on Googli all. Et siin on et mis näiteks read along tähendab, et siin on jällegi mõeldes, et mis see neid sisu, et mis on tavaliselt on kõige suurem mure ja väga tore, et teil on mingi IT riistvara on olemas, aga see sisu mitte keegi ei tee, ainult õpetaja oskabki teha, aga jällegi, et kuidas enda jaoks seda inspiratsioon saada, et see võib olla üks nende lahendusest, see read along kus on, ongi enam kui 1000 loo ja interaktiivset sõnamängu. Näiteks ma arvan, inglise keele puhul see on väga suur pluss. Canvas on siis joonistamise jaoks mõeldud äpp, et lihtsalt, et jällegi, kuna see on kõik integreeritud omavahel, te saate näiteks Classroomiga seda ka ühendada, et siin on suur osa on selles, kuidas see kogemus ja et ei oleks, nüüd me läheme mingi, ma ei tea, 100 erinevat lehed läbi selleks, et kuhugi jõuda. Siin on kõik, teil on võimalus tunni jooksul kõik panna ühes kohas ja jagada ja see ongi see komplektina jagatud. Näiteks selline väike asi nagu Google Arts and Culture, ma väga loodan, et koolides seda näitavad ja kasutavad, et kui ei ole, kindlasti pöörgi tähele pannud, see võib olla midagi huvitav. Ja veel üks asi, mis ma mõtlesin, et miski pärast ma ei näe, et oleks kuidagi rohkem turandatud just ütleme infotehnoloogia poolt, et just seda kuidas õpilane saab ise programmeerida, et siin ma jagan teiega neid ressurssid ka, et te saate võib-olla ise enda jaoks mõelda või jagada näiteks informaatikaõpetajaga, mis võib olla kasulik ka meile. Ma ütleks, et minu poolt on ka kõik hetkel. Ainult kui teil on küsimused ka olemas, ma hea meelega vastaks neid. Ja kui need ei ole, ma ütleks, et jah, me oleme natukene varem kui oli plaanis, aga ma ütleks, et jah.
Üks küsimus on chatis.
Jah. Ma kohe võib-olla isegi jõud siia.
Kus saab andmeid education hinnakirja kohta?
Minu käest. Aga ma olen siin jah, et mina ausalt mõtlesin selle presentatsiooni puhul, et ma pigem nagu annan mingid asjad teile lihtsalt infoks, et seal on olemas minu kontaktid, te võite ühendust võtta, kui see on nagu see teema, mis soovite arutleda.
Ja, tegelikult Meeri Silt on teise küsimuse ka, et are there age restrictions for students in Gemini?
Ja, ma arvan, Miia nägi seda küsimust, ta lubas, et ta vastab, et Gemini osas ma ütlen ausalt, et kuna see on nii värske asi, ma arvan, seal lihtsalt ei ole isegi nagu seda välja toodud, kuna kindlasti, kui see on puhtalt edu jaoks, siis nad panevad restriction peale ja kuna see on ka 12, ma eeldan, et see on peale, ehk siis lapsed vanemad kui 12 aastat vanad.
Sain vastus, et hetkel on 18+.
Et selle Gemini Education just või üleüldiselt Gemini?
Üleüldiselt see education versioon ei ole päris väljas.
Ja, just, et plaan on ikkagist nii palju, kui mina tean Googlis, et see on täitsa eraldi edition ja seal nad, täpselt samamoodi nagu GPT ja Copilot näiteks, et nad on justkui sama asjad, aga üks on päris siuke nagu kinni keeratud, et sealt näiteks ei saa oma andmeid kuhugi edasi serverile lekkida.
Selge, kas veel on küsimusi?
Ja.
Võib käe tõsta ja suuliselt häälega küsida. Ei ole vist küsimusi, aga siis jääb üle ainult ettekandjaid tänada ja järgmise kohtumiseni. Aitäh!
Suur aitäh teile, ilusat päeva ja suhtleme!
Nägemist!
Nägemist!